You said
From
18. That's
Alberta,
crazy.
Canada, Rachel, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. What do you call yourself? Is it Rachel Gleds or Gleddie as an artist?
Gleds is kind of just what I used on all my like junior high emails, and it just kind of stuck. But it is Gleddie. But
Okay, gotcha. That's why I was confused. I knew what your name was, but I didn't know. I was confused on what your artist name was. So,
that's fair.
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your new song "Shallow," and then we'll take a peek at it and come back and get deeper with Dave.
Mm.
Yeah. So, like you already mentioned, I'm from Alberta, Canada, and I'm pretty new to the music world. I just finished recording my debut EP, which will be released in September. Finished recording it like literally 2 days before everything shut down due to COVID. So that was like really lucky timing. And yeah, so Shallow is the second single off of my EP, and it's basically about investing in people and relationships that build you up and kind of not caring about the ones that bring you down. So that's the gist.
Cool. So let's take a peek, and we'll be right back.
The shadows creep around you at every turn. Their purpose pulls against you as you have learned. There will always be those eyes that wait for you to fall. Know that it comes as no surprise that they are unworth it at all. No, shallow isn't worth it at all. And no one ever tells you how much it hurts. Life won't always prepare you for when things get worse. You have always been the type to take what you've endured and turn it into something bright. You create your own illusion. Yeah, you create your own illusion. If you show them something they can't do, they'll try to put a hole through you. Can't stand the light that's in your eyes. But you are passionate and strong, so you don't have to play along. No point in leading from their lies. 'Cause you are loved, you are you, love for you.
Hey Rachel, great sound right there. Unique vocal delivery. Just, it's interesting, very interesting, but very strong vocals. Um, so let me see here. I was checking out an interview you did on Big Sound, just kind of looking at some of your answers, and I was very impressed with your viewpoints just about, what's behind making music for you. It's very similar to what my own were and are, where it's, the word success, it's always a funny word. It's like when people kind of, I don't know, throw the word success into art, it gets a little muddy sometimes because a lot of people go to it's like, oh, how many albums did you sell? It's like, well, stop right there. That's business, that's music business. That's not like the process of creating the art. So there's, like you said, there's just like success just in completing it and moving people. And I really appreciate that. So did you maybe want to expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to like musical success, like the first thing, like I said in that interview, was that you have to kind of give it your best. And I know that's kind of the cliche answer, but it is easy to kind of half-ass some of these things. Like it's good to be picky with your lyrics and everything else. And in that process too, just making sure that you're being authentic and genuine, and you're not, trying to maybe copy someone else because it's easier. Just focusing on your goals with like connecting with your audience and I don't know, like making it not just like a good listening experience, but like something that people can actually like connect to and relate to and walk away with something. So
Yeah, yeah, and I'd say this with full confidence. Like probably at least half of our featured artists that we've had in the show in the past 5 years is like if they had a $20 million marketing machine or distribution machine behind them, they would go gold or platinum. So it's truly like they have the talent, and if you have enough money behind it, you will sell that many records.
mhm.
So it really comes down to the decision maker of whether to put the money behind this handful of artists every year that you see every time you turn on TV, and you hear it every time you turn on the radio, because that's what happens. But anyway, so yeah, the other part I wanted to ask you about is just like your influences here. I was curious to hear how you describe your own music. I know you mentioned country, but the only way I would say country is just that those very minor like lap steel parts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like whenever you hear that instrument, it's like, oh, there's the country flavor right there. But really, that's all I heard in terms of country influence. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, so everything I've listened to like since I was little is just a giant mishmash of just like a bunch of genres, and I think that kind of comes out a little bit. And when it comes to genre too, I always get like kind of confused of like where the lines are between everything. So I'm like, okay, I'll call it sort of country because there's like there's some acoustic guitar and there's like a pedal steel in there, but vocally, like I don't think I sound like a straight up country singer. So it's like, is it pop? Is it country? Is it singer songwriter? Like, I'm not really sure. What do you think that was? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, like obviously, I mean, being from Canada, you're not going to hear any of the southern twang in your voice unless you try and manufacture it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing for sure. It's like your delivery is so clean and direct, and I like that. And I that's why, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that part, but like when I look at your like the Civil Wars and like Alison Krauss, Brandy Carlisle, it's like I do hear a touch of that folk influence, but it's like really clean folk. It's not old school folk where it's usually like kind of a lower level production quality.
Mhm.
Like the Civil Wars is like really, it's like super clean, like a lot of Americana influences, and just it's kind of the melodies that really make it folk,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And that's kind of the place I see you sitting, I guess, right now. So what do you think about that?
I think that sounds great. Answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to like classify yourself, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I should probably, take a day to meditate on to see what I am, because that's what everyone asks you, right? So, but it's a hard question. So,
I think it happens naturally once you start getting a lot of feedback. I'm sure, Joe and Beezy can say the same thing, because Beezy was, his early stuff was really kind of, was like bubblegum pop.
Kind of like Britney Spears.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. He was in a boy band.
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah. No, Beezy's always been rap and hip hop, but yeah, that's how it happened for myself, because I've always kind of been this like alt rock type of genre, which is so wide, the spectrum's so wide.
mhm.
And yeah, it just kind of was defined, I guess, over time, just through feedback and everything. But anyway, so that's unfortunate. You were just gearing up for this release before the pandemic. I know we've interviewed maybe a couple dozen artists on this show since it hit, and everyone's kind of adapting in different ways. People are writing more, doing a lot of live streaming. How about that? Are you doing any performance on live video?
Like the correct answer would be yes, I'm doing a ton of it, but the reality is no. It actually makes me really nervous, but I am doing one at the end of the month to kind of get over that sort of like, I don't know, it's weird, like picturing like performing, because when you're performing for an audience, like you're getting the energy back and you see reactions and it's like more interactive, whereas like on live stream it's almost just like I'm making a little home video but it's live. So I just need to get over myself and do it, but no, I haven't been doing lots of it yet. So
Yeah, because I mean the fans love it. There's no way around it. They just want to see who you are.
yep.
But last thing I wanted to cover was just because the production quality on this was top notch. I mean, really, really smooth, really clean, very impressive for like a artists early in their career, like you say. So did you want to kind of shout out? I see the two Brads and a Brandon in there. Did you want to
Yes,
talk
absolutely.
about them?
So Bradley Simons, Brandon Eunice, and Brad Smith were the three guys I worked with on this track, and they were like, I came in with all the songs already written and arranged. I kind of like gave them what I was hearing in like each section of the song, and they just like, it was super easy to work with them. Like it was almost like I'd be like I did a lot of beatboxing for them and they immediately knew what I meant somehow. And yeah, they just were like really easy to work with, which apparently like I've heard stories of people not having a good relationship with their producers and it sounds like a nightmare, but these guys were super chill and really, really talented, had a lot of good ideas. The one guy plays like every single instrument. So like I did a lot of like, hey, can you put in like this certain part of the song, and he'd just be like, oh, this, and he'd just do it perfectly. So yeah, I was like, they were very, very talented, and I was like super blown away by like the end product versus what was like in my head. So yeah.
Awesome, Rachel. Yeah, so your website, rachelgleddie.wixsite.com, is that your main site?
Yes, it is.
All right, so yeah, check that out. Check out her music, and when you finish that EP, please send it to us.
Yeah.
So we can like share it around for you and maybe have you back or something.
Yeah, sounds great.